Hi everybody, I'm just gonna jump right in with the lesson. I was awoken by this particular memory and I wanted to share it with you because I think it just helps to illustrate this whole idea of, being under authority and what's the difference between being under man's authority and God's authority. So this memory came up to me. Okay, I had the privilege of being brought up in a Catholic Christian family. And I went to a Catholic school from kindergarten up until 8th grade. And so what I'm speaking about right now is the period where I was at this particular school from kindergarten to 8th grade. Within this school, that was a Catholic school, there was there were certain rules and there were certain expectations. And first of all, it was a private school, so you had to pay a tuition in order to go to this Catholic school. So it was not like a public school. Um, you know, because it was a Catholic school, it had a religious foundation, and so you were required to go to church and go to church during the week and be taught certain parts, of the Bible. So that was again part of the curriculum at this Catholic school. So here I am at this Catholic school, and I remember this period where I guess it was somewhere between I'm going to say between 4th grade and 6th grade, somewhere in that period. And, understandably, when you go to a Catholic school, you are required to wear a uniform. And so with this uniform, generally speaking, when you're under the certain age, then you're wearing this dress jumper that's plaid, and then underneath of the dress jumper, you're wearing this white big round collar with either short sleeves to this length or long sleeves to this length. And you're supposed to wear navy blue socks, and the socks are supposed to go all the way up to your knees, and the hemline on your dress, and then when you advance to become a young woman, then you would be wearing a skirt, not a jumper dress. And again, the skirt had a certain length that it had to be below your knees at this particular length. And it was, an expectation. And in addition, the shoes, you had to wear a certain type of shoes, like the saddle school, white and black leather, traditional shoes, or a brown leather shoe. And that was the uniform, that was the requirement, and you needed to comply in order to go to the school. And so again, it's because I had been groomed at such a young age, I think it was from 1st grade until 8th grade, it was you accepted that this was the way that it was. It was a routine, it became a pattern, and you just accepted that when you wake up, you're going to get dressed in your uniform, you're going to, pull your socks up, knee length, you're going to, style your hair in these whatever ways, you're not going to go outside of what that order and that discipline was that the school determined and set. Those were the rules, and you were then under the school's authority, the principal's authority, in terms of complying and wearing that uniform and showing up as a student of that Catholic school. So here I am going to this Sacred Hearts School of Glendon in Reisterstown area, and I'm wearing my uniform, and I'm noticing at this level, at this age, between 4th grade, 6th grade, somewhere in there, I'm noticing that other students are disobeying the rules. Like, it wasn't as obvious before when you're little kids, because most little kids, you're just putting on whatever your parents tell you to put on. But it's somewhere in that, like, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, somewhere in there, like the middle school to like young adult age, where it, children are getting a little more rebellious, and I started to notice it. And so I noticed that these girls were taking their jumpers or their skirts, and they were hemming them up like to their thighs, and the rule was below the knee. And meanwhile, you're seeing these girls with these really short skirts, and I just remember, like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to do what's wrong. I want to follow the rules, you know? And I'm watching these other girls that are disobeying the rules. They're being rebellious. And their spirit, you know, now that I reflect as an adult, but their spirit at the time was a rebellious spirit. And they were trying to get away with things. These were the same girls that weren't doing their homework. These were the same girls that were picking fights with other students. They were mocking other students outside at gym, playing basketball or medicine ball or whatever. So I started to notice a pattern that some of these girls who were having a rebellious spirit, that were wearing the shorter skirts, were also the same girls that were making fun of other students. They were not doing their homework, and they were becoming difficult, and the teachers were starting to have difficulty with them. Now, I again would say that I was a good girl. I was a good student. I listened to the instructors and the teachers. Many of them were nuns, and, you know, I was about discipline. Like, the family that I was brought up in, you know, it was like, these are the rules. These are the consequences if you don't follow the rules. If you talk back to me, you're going to get your mouth washed out with soap. Do I want to get my mouth washed out with soap anymore? No, I don't like that. So I'm not going to do that anymore, you know? If my parents said, you have to go to bed at this time, like, I knew what the rules were, and I obeyed and honored my parents. I knew that if 8 o'clock was my bedtime, then I had to get all my homework done